There have been a lot of stories in the news lately about what a business should and should not be required to offer to its employees and customers. There's the Supreme Court case with Hobby Lobby recently regarding birth control. The Affordable Care Act mandates that certain standards of health insurance be offered to full-time employees. The minimum wage is constantly in the news with demands that it be raised either just higher or to a living wage. Been a number of stories about businesses that have been forced to serve customers they didn't want to serve. The baker in Oregon who didn't want to bake a cake for a gay couple. The New Mexico photographer who didn't want to photograph a gay couple's wedding. So clearly this is an issue that needs to be addressed. Now, an employer who offers undesirable wages or benefits clearly does so to their own detriment. They're going to have fewer job applicants. Those who do apply are most likely going to be less skilled, and they're going to be less motivated to stick with the company long term. And a company that refuses service to certain types of customers is likely to see a backlash by the rest of society. The Oregon bakery, Sweet Cakes by Melissa, is closed down now, and it's just Melissa working out of her kitchen. The New Mexico photographer, as best as I can tell, is not even in business anymore. She has no business presence on the internet. So offering poor wages and benefits and discriminating against customers is clearly a risky proposition, and the market has proven that it is willing to act against companies that do that. So where does that lead us when we consider our principles, self-ownership and non-aggression? So first we have to recognize that individuals, employees, and customers have a right to choose who they associate with. If a person doesn't like the wages and benefits being offered, they are absolutely free and have a completely legitimate right to abstain from using that company. I would never think to suggest that someone work for a wage that they find unacceptable, and I would never force someone to purchase a product or service from a business that discriminates. People should be free to associate voluntarily with whomever they wish. But as we recognize the rights of individuals, we have to remember that business owners are individuals as well. Sweet Cakes by Melissa was started by Melissa. She's the one who bakes the cakes and pays the rent and signs the employee paychecks. The business is her property. It's the embodiment of her skills and abilities and desires. Her labor is hers to dispense as she pleases, and her profits are hers to spend on whatever and whomever she wishes. To demand that Melissa or any business owner serve a customer that they don't want to serve, to force them to offer wages and benefits that they don't want to offer, violates their rights over their property, violates their self-ownership. The only person who has any say over the proper use of a piece of property is the property owner. It is patently immoral to use the violence of the state to violate the rights of business owners, and it is hypocritical to do so in the name of equal rights. No one has a right to the labor of another. No one has the right to force someone to work for them. No one has the right to tell another how to use their property. If someone doesn't want to pay you what you're worth, convince them to. Find a job elsewhere or deal with it. If someone doesn't want to offer you health care benefits that you want, convince them to find a job elsewhere or deal with it. If someone doesn't want to provide their product or service to you, convince them to. Find someone else who will. Well, quite frankly, why? If they don't want to serve you, why? Why would you want to give them your business? You don't have a right to force someone to acquiesce to your demands. Not directly yourself, not by proxy through the government. If you try to do that, you're nothing more than a modern-day plantation owner forcing people to work for you by force against their will. Only you're using state regulations to do it instead of chains and a whip.